until from the time that he started until the time that he hit the top contract level was 29 months, which is so cool. That's how long it took me, but this isn't about me right now. The really cool part is he did it in this digital age, right? And so we're going to be adopting a lot of the onboarding that he was doing to really just be able to help brand new people come into this business and really kick off. So I'm going to be working with Miranda and with Craig, and then I'll also be kind of correlating that to key leaders and up, and just opening up some kind of classes for this to be able to help brand new people come on with ease. Just because I think we're all over the place with it, right? And a unified, uniform system to be able to help. So there's so many really cool, exciting things kind of going on right now. But I wanted to at least get the script out to the team that I'm really, really excited about. I know first, Jenny, you do have, I think, just conference registrations that we're going to be showing. So let's show that. And Paige, why don't you read off the names of all of the conference registrations? Do you mind doing that?
Sure.
Let's see how well you nail these.
Oh boy. Okay. I got this.
All right, can you see it?
I can't see it.
No, I can see it. Jenny, you have it up? Yeah. All right.
Everybody
Is
else
it just,
see it?
is it the bottom ones that you can't see?
I can't see the screen at all. Why can't I see it?
We all see it. It's just Paige's fault.
It's just me,
Oh.
apparently. I can't see it.
All right, go ahead. You can pull it back up, Jenny. I'll read it. I'll read it if Paige can't see it this time.
Oh, it's happening now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, so bottom I see is Tom Ellison on the far right. Is that the far? Oh, wait, what happened? Oh, here we go. Nope, I got it now, I think. Okay,
Yep.
so I've got, I don't know what direction to start. I'm gonna start from the bottom right. So Vanessa, Tommy Boy, Tom Hester, Tim Greaves, Siobhan McSweeney, Shaniqua Sessom, hopefully I said that right, Shannon Davis, Scott Baker, Rafa Rodriguez, myself, Nick Horner, Michael Gustin, it's probably Margot, I think. Margaret Jensen, Lakota Richardson, Kristen Walsh, Kimberly Burlett, Keisha Boykins, Kayla Lindley, Karen Chandler, Justin Bannis, Joshua Jansen, Joshua Bostic, John Ziller, Jessica Ziller, Jeffrey Burlett, Jeff Pope, Jared Roundtree, James Burge, James Walsh, Jackie Pope, Isaiah Davis, Ibel Wood, Hunter Durgan, Gustavo. Is it Arak? Is that how you say their last name? I know he's Vanessa's husband, no? Diane Boykin.
It's Iraqi, but I always say Iroquois.
Iroquois. Okay.
It's Iraqi. Yeah, it's Iraqi. It's Iraqi. It's Iraqi. It's Iraqi, but I like Iroquois.
Okay. Okay. I'll go with what it is and not what you like. But Arake, Diane Boykins, Denisha Vanderberg, Dean Tollefson, David Whiteman, Dave Lappin, Darnell Etheridge, Claire Steiner, Chloe Bush, Cecilia McIntyre, Bridget Felix, Brandon Helmink, Brandy Williams, Beverly Frazier, Benjamin Johnston, Barbara Hoagland, Ashlyn Thompson, Amber Franklin.
That's what I'm talking about. So Paige, what would be if they haven't, and see, I keep laughing about this. I don't know whether it's the dumb button or the dumb button, right? Because I feel like if you hit the done button means, all right, it's just got to be done, I guess, right? The dumb button's like, hey, I'm gonna hit this, so I'm not gonna be dumb and I'm gonna go. So what would you think? Would you think it's the dumb button or the done button, or do you think it could be both?
I think it could be both, but I like the done button. Just hit the done. I got it. It's done. Done is better than perfect, is my new saying. So I like the done button.
All right. All right. So done is better than perfect. I like it. I like where your head's at. And what would you say to people that haven't hit the done button yet?
Do it. Make it happen. You may not be able to afford it in your mind, but here's the deal. If you can't afford to go to conference, that's exactly why you should, because this is where you're going to learn how to do this thing. The amount of speed you get after coming from conference, you get it, right? You get the factor, you get the idea, the vision of what this business can do for you. And when you're in that mindset, really the best way to do it is in an in-person event. That's a fact. So once you're in that zone, your excuses are eliminated. You see clearly, you're able to prioritize what's important and get that done. And that's when your business grows. So you got to put yourself in the position to be there.
It's good, right? And I love how you kind of let that off as like, look, if you can't afford to go, that is the mindset that you've had the entire time that has led you to those types of decisions. So if you start to alter your thinking and ask yourself, how can I get myself to go? Right? And so that will start to alter the way that you're thinking, which is inevitably going to lead you to better decision making, which will inevitably lead you to be able to start to afford things like that. So if you automatically shut down, be like, oh, you know what, I can't afford to go. Well, okay, that's why you're broke. Right? And you'll always stay broke with that mindset. And so you just need to start thinking differently. How can I find the funds? Right? Find the funds, buy the ticket, then figure it out, says Claire Steiner. Love it. Love it, lady. Start thinking differently, start doing differently, and different things will happen in your life. Get to conference. How many of you would love to be like Paige Jensen? Put I in the chat. How many of you would love to be like Bridget Felix? Put I in the chat. How many of you would love to be like Dave Lappin? Put I in the chat. How many of you would love to be like Tom Ellison? Put I in the chat. All of these people are going. You want what they have, you have to do what they do. They're all going. Paige, would you ever miss a conference?
No.
No.
I went to one after having a baby, like what, 8 weeks before that?
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Exactly. Right, Bridget, would you ever miss a conference?
Never ever.
No. Right. So if I want what they have, and Bridget has what did we read off yesterday? $200,000 a month organization. That's a $2.5 million organization. It was kind of a down month last month, which always kind of happens in June because people are on vacation, whatever. But like, if I want what she has, I have to do what she's doing, right? So get your butts to conference. Let's make it happen, Captain. Let's cover the script. Let's do it. Wait, I think there was one more slide that you had, Jenny. Sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, let's pull up the script. All right. I am excited for this. Uh-oh. Oh, camera's not working, would be on. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I love when people have their cameras on. All right, so you will notice that this is 4 pages instead of 8, 8.5 or 9. And we're just gonna kind of cover this together. Paige, is this brand new to you too?
Yeah, it is. This is like, I'm
Okay.
so about this.
Okay, all right. So why don't you help me with reading? If there are any questions in there, why don't you help me with them, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we are gonna kind of break this down, all right? So we're gonna notice, the one thing I want everyone to notice is this. Role and purpose, or I'm sorry, rapport building, it's awkward, is it not? Can you guys kind of agree with me there? Would you, like, for the most part, would you agree that rapport building for brand new people, it's kind of awkward? What do I ask them about? How long do we talk? How long don't we talk? They don't care about me. I don't care about them just yet. Right? We kind of pretend, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just totally weird. And so here's the one thing I want you to truly understand is just don't be weird. Okay? Don't make it weird. Literally, all we're going to do is we're just going to ask 2 or 3 questions. That's it. No more of this 5, 10, 15, 20-minute rapport building. The worst position that you can be in is, how much longer is this going to take? That's an uphill battle. what they're doing is they're warning you right now. If that does happen, they're warning you. I'm over you and I'm over this, and I need you to get straight to the prices. That's what they're telling in their mind, because they could tell that it's just, this is uncomfortable for new people. So we're gonna keep it super simple. We're gonna say, Paige, how long have you lived in the area? Paige is gonna say, oh, I've been here for 15 years. All right, did you move from anywhere from, or where'd you move from? And Paige will say, oh, moved from Illinois. Okay. And then do you have any family that lives nearby? Yep, my mom lives out here, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Okay, it is literally 2 to 3 questions. That's it. And if you'll notice, they're open-ended questions, which start off with who, what, when, where, why. Okay? And the closed-ended question at the very end, do you have any family that lives nearby? All right, so Paige, I am licensed by the state of Illinois. My role in this is what they call a field underwriter, and I'm a broker. As a broker, I have access to over 60 of the top-rated companies that offer this coverage, and so I shop around for you. I don't only specialize in mortgage protection and life insurance, I also do final expense, cancer policies, retirement, it should be getting people out of debt, children's grow-up plans. Oh, Jenny, there you go. Getting people out of debt, children's grow-up plans, accidental death, and critical illness. So my job is just to find you the best coverage you qualify for at the best price. Does that sound good?
Yep,
all
that's
right.
great.
What are we doing here? We're telling them about everything. I want them to know that I help get people out of debt. I want them to know about retirement. I want them to know about children's grow-up plans, because here's what we're doing. So many times we might sit with families that already have life insurance coverage, but we can help them out with all of these other things. And so now what I just did there for each and every one of you is I opened up boxes. And these are boxes that you can kind of help check off for people, okay? And that's something that you guys can kind of think about too, is every single time I went into a presentation, those were the things that I thought about. I thought of, okay, if they have life insurance already, can I help them out with a cancer policy? Can I help them out with their final expense policy? Can I help them with retirement? Can I help their children with their children's grow-up plan? Do they need a critical illness policy? These are all of the things that I thought about during my presentation. All right, and so now you're telling them out loud that these are all the different things that you can do. All right, so any questions on that so far? Are we good?
Questions in here? Nope.
Okay, all good. All right.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so there are 4 things that we're going to do on this phone call to close your case. Paige, the first thing is I'm going to verify your health information. Carriers that give us the best rate are also the pickiest, so I need to know the details. When they do their underwriting, they will use your social to see any prescriptions you filled, medical history, driving records, lifestyle, and we'll even look at your criminal background to determine eligibility. To get the best coverage at the best possible rate, I'm going to need complete transparency. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay. The second thing is basic. It's just to discuss what you may already have in place and just to see if there's a gap. I don't want you paying too much for something that you don't need or paying too little for something that you do need. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. And I'm going to show you a few options. Your job will just be to pick a plan that fits your needs and budget. So the 4th thing is, once you find the right fit, we'll apply today and see if we can even get you approved. This usually only takes about 5 minutes or so. It's super easy. We just do it right over the phone. Sounds pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Once we apply, one of 2 things can happen. Best case scenario is you get approved at the rate we applied. Jenny, you're killing me. I know you're trying to keep up with me, but the best scenario is you get approved at the rate we applied for or get more coverage for the same amount. On the other hand, they can increase the price or decline you. If the latter happens, I have 60 carriers, so we'll move on to plan B and find the one that's right for you. So today we'll get a complete, today we will get complete an application. Okay, so I do have to fix some of this, all right? So today we will get a complete application for a plan you like. So it should actually say, so we will complete an application for a plan you like that's affordable, one that I think that we have a good shot at, and I'll work as hard as I can to get it approved. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, well, I want to pause really quick. Can we come back to just people so I can look at people? Jenny. All right, what's kind of the common theme in there, everyone? Anybody know kind of what we just did there in just that first like minute? And go ahead, Ibel.
We told people what we were doing and why we were doing it and what's going to happen next.
Yep. What else?
You're getting micro commitments out of them.
Very good, Tim. What else?
Planting seeds.
Yeah, that's right. What else? Anyone?
Well, you're doing what I've been doing for years. You're keeping him in a qualifying mode. Okay. And I like this, John, because it's a simple, I like the script. I think it gives people an easy path to go down. So I'm good.
Yeah, good. How many times did we tell them that we're going to be taking an application today? Do you know how many people, do you know how many people missed that in the very beginning? I think we tell them 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know how many people missed that? How insane that is to me too. In the very beginning, when I first started, I remember kind of feeling really uncomfortable about that idea. Now I love it. You have to tell them that they're going to be taking an application. This is a part of the expectations of the presentation, what we expect from them that they're going to have to do. So I want to let them know that we're going to be taking an application today. All right. And I think we tell them 3 or 4 times of that. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, nobody, I agree, but what I want people to understand is this script also keeps them in a qualifying mode. I don't know why, but people, when they think they can get something, their mindset is different. So, we're talking about if we can do this, the driving record, all of that. I love that because that really makes them stand up and be like, I better be honest with this person if I want to get some coverage.
Exactly. And you'll notice that there's 2 different parts where I have that in there. Delaney and I fought about this. I said, listen, in the very beginning, they don't trust you a lot, right? They don't trust you enough. So we're going to double dip and we're going to ask them at the end about the health again, because I feel like after they tell you why this is important to them, after they see the person that you are, right? They see that your heart's open. They see that you're there for really good purpose instead of just kind of a sale, then they're like, okay, let me go ahead and divulge what's really going on health-wise. So we're going to ask it a couple, but we're going to ask it closer to the end as well. But very good catch there, Lappin. All right, let's go back. There we go. All right. So verify health, I think is where we're at. Okay, so let's put that to the top, Jenny, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so first we just need to verify the medical side to confirm which carriers you could qualify for. And then just double check. So I have you 50, your date of birth is whatever. I have your height at 5 foot, weight 110 pounds. What medications do you have you been on in the past? Any health issues? Do you do anything hazardous occupation? Do you have any disability income? Do you have any moving violations in the last 5 years? Any felonies or misdemeanors, DUIs, suspended or revoked driver's license? Are your parents still living? If not, how old were they when they passed? A lot of our applications ask that. Have you been declined, rated, or postponed for life insurance in the past 10 years? Okay. So again, this is super simple. We're following. All right. So I wrote a story for you guys. All right, really quick. Any questions on the health side of this or no? Paige, did you see any pop up or are we good?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. All right. So really quick. I wrote a story in here because I believe that your story is the most important thing that you can come up with. And I think that so many people get this wrong. Okay. Your why is supposed to be like a 2-minute story, 2.5 minutes max. And it's supposed to cover so many kind of details. For those that want to go ahead and use your own story. I encourage it. I love it. I want you to do it, but it's the XY theory. You are the stimulus that creates the response, okay? Meaning, the more that you share, the more that it's going to give them the ability to share, okay? So if you don't have a story, use this one. If you feel like your story isn't as good as it could be, use this one. But the idea would be is to inevitably use your own story and be around long enough until you have a story. And if you guys do have a story, I'd love for you to send it to your upline and have them work with you on how to kind of formulate it and put it together, okay? Because your story is very important, but temporarily, I put one in here for you guys to use, and I'm just gonna kind of cover it. All right, so Paige, let me tell you why I got in this business. I have a coworker who shared this with me, and it's the exact reason why I value what we do. It's about the Erickson family who experienced life without life insurance in the worst form. A middle-class family of 4 consisting of Daryl, the father, primary earner, Sarah, the mother and homemaker, and their 2 young children, Emily and Daniel. Daryl, unfortunately, was in a freak accident. He was 2 miles away from his office. The light had just turned green, and as soon as he was in the middle of the intersection, an oncoming car crashed into his without stopping at 70 miles an hour. He passed upon impact, leaving the family devastated emotionally and financially. Without life insurance, the family was struggling. Daryl's income was the main source for their financial stability. Within 2 years, Sarah was forced out of their home. Emily and Daniel were pulled out of everything. Soccer, football, baseball, softball, cheerleading, you name it. All of the activities with their friends that had slightly distracted them from the loss of their dad, Sarah just couldn't afford the extracurricular activities any longer. So not only did Emily and Daniel lose their dad, but they also lost their home, their safety net. They lost their friends because they were forced to move away from them. They lost their circle of influence. They essentially lost their mom too because she could no longer be present. Sarah had to find a job to support the family, but she hated it because she couldn't afford the same quality of life for her children. In addition to all that they had gone through, the one thing I forgot to mention, the Erickson family also faced difficulties in covering the costs associated with Daryl's funeral and some of the other outstanding. Yeah, you can go all the way up, Jenny. Yeah, there we go. Some of the outstanding debts. The lack of life insurance just meant that the family had to rely on the generosity of friends and family, meaning opening a GoFundMe page as they were trying to mourn, as well as take out additional loans to manage these expenses. This situation not only added to their financial stress, but also prolonged their grieving process, making it harder for them to focus on healing and moving forward. She said she had felt extremely embarrassed trying to ask people for money, all the while trying to figure everything else out. My coworker said that life insurance would have provided a lump sum payment to the family, allowing them to pay off the outstanding debts, cover funeral expenses, and maintain their standard of living. It had given Sarah the necessary financial support to take time off work and focus on helping her children cope with the loss of their dad. I'm here today to ensure that not another family has to experience what the Erickson family went through. So tell me, why are you guys looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family? All right, it's a story. Read it. If you don't have one, I promise you, it'll make an impact. All right, we do have little stop things right here for temperature checks is what I like to call them. A temperature check is just basically understanding the question that you just asked and how impactful it was. So after you tell that story and you say, so tell me, why are you guys looking into this type of protection? What would this mean to your family? And it's how they respond. So if they say, you know what, Paige, no, I'm just looking. Paige, yeah, we just filled that out so they would quit coming in the mail. I don't know, I was just curious to see how much it costed. They give you those basic, bare bones, just like non-committed kind of responses to that question. That means that your story didn't land. Okay, so that's the transition and temperature check and question asking. Anything there? Any questions there? Are we good on the story?
Looks good.
All right, so your story, and Paige, would you agree with this Paige detail story or no?
Yeah, it's important to
Yeah.
paint that picture.
Okay. And what are your takeaways, Paige, with the story and like how impactful and how meaningful it is to kind of the whole scenario and situation or to your presentation?
Well, facts tell, stories sell. So by doing that, they're putting themselves in that position. They're thinking, what if that was me? What about if I just didn't come home? We don't know how this world is going to shake out for us. So it gets them into that emotional state, and this is an emotional sale. That's why it's so hard to make a sale on a follow-up with these types of clients, because you've taken away the emotion by having time pass. So this is putting them into that position to be thinking about their family now and feeling like they need to make a decision now just in case something happens.
That's right. That's right. Good. Lappin, anything that you would add to that, buddy? Oh, I said your mouthful, sorry.
No, I love it. I'm thrilled that we have a maybe a little better simplified script for people. I just wanted to say what John said, if we have our own story, like Bridge and I have a killer story because it's real. But if not, use this, because if you don't say this with conviction, you'll seem phony and you'll get a bad response from the client.
Yeah.
But no, I really like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things to just memorize. Bridge, anything that you were gonna add?
Yeah, a couple of things I was gonna say. Good thing you didn't catch Dave eating Doritos, John. You would have had to just log right off. because
That's
it would've been
so
bad.
like I was just telling somebody else that like I have two things. Like I think it's ADHD.
I know you do.
That's one of them.
I know.
That's one of them. Like the
Anyway, we gotta
can't
keep
stand
on
the
track.
people chewing
Hold
But
on,
what
gum.
I was gonna say is, sharing your why, what Dave said too, is it has to be real and relatable. Otherwise you will sound ridiculous. And it just makes us relatable as humans. So when we're vulnerable and share something with them, it then allows them to be vulnerable with us. That's it. It just levels the playing field so we can get the emotion of why they're looking into this. That's the space that we live in, right? Because we have the solution. And, people want to talk about typically what they don't want to have happen, right? So that's the solve. That's the only thing I'd add there.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Bridge. Go ahead, Evel. What you got, lady?
Just picking up back up on what they said, when you were reading it, John, it sounded like you're reading it because you're reading it off the screen, but it's not about what story you tell, it's about saying it correctly. I know a lot of us that have been here a while went through the Jeremy Minor training of really having that seriousness. So it's like, hey, he was out in the middle of the intersection and bam, got hit by an oncoming car. What, having that practice. So practice, whatever story you're going to tell, and make sure you can do it correctly and with seriousness to have that really stick and not sound like a phony, as Bridget said.
Yeah, I think the important thing is like knowing exactly what you're going to say so you can practice how to say it. Does that make sense? So, and if you don't know it, you just got to memorize it. I'm telling you, memorize the story for sure. Memorize the whole thing. It's only 4 pages now. All right. Good. Next. All right. Fact finding. We've done this forever. We just kind of put it in here as well. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry.
Step 4.
Your story.
Step 4,
Yep. My bad. All right. And so again, we're transitioning into their questions, right? And you guys, listen, you can just ask these exact questions. We made it to where you could just ask this question. So like, if I were doing this, is Paige, can you unmute?
Yep.
All right, so again, the transition question. So Paige, tell me, why are you looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family?
I'll just needing to make sure that something happened to me, my family's taken care of. I just had a baby 6 months ago and put things into perspective.
Okay, and what's the baby's name?
His name is Brooks.
Damn it. Why wouldn't you say Coltrane for this purpose, Paige? All right, so Paige, if God forbid, didn't make it home tonight, like got into a fatal car accident, like Daryl, or had a massive heart attack, how would you leave your family as it stands today?
They'd be in a tough spot. We own a business and I'm kind of the primary on there. So I don't know what they would be able to do. It'd be hard.
Okay. So like who would be affected?
Well, my husband Hunter would be for sure. He would have to kind of pick up the pieces and it'd be tough. We don't have any other income coming in. And Brooks would be affected too. He's little now, but I mean, childcare is expensive. And if you're a single parent, I can't even imagine adding that on.
Okay. And just how long do you think they would be okay for?
Honestly, probably just for a couple of months at at this stage right here.
Okay. And then what do you think would happen after that time frame?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he'd have to probably get another job or move in with a family member. If a family member move in to our house, we own our house, so it's, you know, there's bills that won't go away. So another job probably.
All right, and you kind of already said that, right? Like we might have to move. Or do you think that, yeah, either moving or maybe having to find a more affordable area?
Yeah, but probably.
Okay. And where do you think they would go?
Well, probably to his family in probably Montana or Michigan or something where he could be a little bit more supported, not being able to afford it here.
Okay. Yeah, and so you could do either one, right? And so moving kind of in that area, what would they be doing there? And you would say, well, they'd move in with their parents, or they'd move in with his parents, and then just how would that new normal look?
Well, I mean, he'd probably have to go back to working in the kitchen or, you know, find something else or just struggle having extra help from family and daycare and stuff like that to continue running our business. So it'd be like making some really quick decisions that probably are not ideal.
Okay. And
Stressful.
speaking of ideal, if you had to draw up an ideal situation for your family, what would that look like?
No, wouldn't have to worry about working, wouldn't have to worry about income, wouldn't have to worry about paying the bills, just taking that time to grieve and figure out what the new normal looks like on their terms.
Okay. Do you see how much easier we made that? Do we love that? Like, do you see how much meat I got out of that just by literally asking those questions?
Yeah.
Love it. And again, we have that temperature check, right? Surface level answers, but I promise you guys, just follow it. So many people were weird with the idea of like digging into their why. We just gave it to you. See, like my brain wanted to go so much deeper with all of this stuff, and I understand that that's not how everyone's brain operates. So we just kept it super simple. Let's go back to that really quick, Jenny. Paige, anything that you would add to it? Dave, Bridge, anything that you guys would add?
No, the only thing I want to say, and I'll be brief, buddy, that I really like it because those of us who have been around a while, we do this instinctively. But for a new person, they have no idea how to dig into the why. And this is perfect. I mean, this is spoon feeding 101. I love it.
Gives people exactly something to follow along. And I
Yep.
think what's important here is know the questions, because if you're worried about what you're going to ask next and you're not listening to the person, you're going to
Right.
start being weird.
Yep.
So you have to make sure that you're asking questions in accordance to what they just said, not just, oh, where would they go? Montana.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would they go? Right? Like you got to make sure that you're listening too.
Great ad, Paige, because sometimes the real answer is 2 or 3 layers deep. And if you aren't listening to what they say, you might be missing all kinds of other discussions to have. So that's a great point.
Bridge?
Good.
Okay, cool. All right, so again, just follow it, you guys, in the very beginning, and then listen exactly what they were talking about too. We just want to make sure that you're at least doing it. We find that in too many presentations, people aren't digging at all. And so this is going to help you out drastically because we want them to open up. So we tell our story, and our story basically asks for permission to get them to open up. And then a lot of people don't even open them up. So just follow this process, open them up. And you're right, Paige started telling some of the stuff earlier. And if I just asked the straight question, I would have been like, dumbass, I already told you. Right? So, good. All right. Again,
So Kayla has a question. She wants to know if this is a good script for final expense type situations or if it's more geared towards.
Yeah, we're getting there for sure.
Okay.
Awesome. Good question though, Kayla. All right. Yeah, fact finding. So this is the same thing. I do believe that this wholeheartedly is something that we have to do. I would do it because I think that there are 2 types of buyers. I think that there's a logical buyer and emotional buyer. We just covered the emotional buyer. We're now covering the logical buyers. Okay, 50% of the families that you sit with are emotional, 50% of the families that you sit with are logical. So that's why we're doing both of these, okay? You can't do one without the other. Remember, this is a 4-page script. Listen to me. The entire presentation from start to end is 15 minutes. That's what we just did here. This entire presentation is 15 minutes. That should excite you guys. 15 means you can do a heck of a lot more presentations if you want to. All right, so Paige, about your home, just to confirm, you owe roughly $200,000. If you had to put your home on the market tomorrow, how much do you think it would sell for?
Probably like 320.
Okay, great. So it sounds like you have about $120,000 in equity.
Yep.
Awesome. At the bare bones minimum, we just want to make sure we're at least covering this. If you didn't make it home tomorrow, how much money every month stops hitting the checking account on your behalf?
Probably like $10,000 a month.
Okay, and then same question for Hunter.
For him, probably like $5,000 a month.
Okay, and so you got about 15,000 a month coming in.
Mhm.
All right, a lot of people like to blow off the next part. It's extremely important that I understand the total cost of running your home, just so I can give you my best assessment. Your mortgage payment I have at $1,888. Do you guys have any car payments?
Nope.
Okay, utilities?
Utilities are about $200 a month.
Okay, cell phone?
About 175.
Groceries?
Groceries are probably like, honestly, now like $1,000 a month.
You spend a lot more on that. Car insurance?
Car insurance is like 100.
Okay, credit cards?
We don't really have any credit card debt or anything.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of that I haven't mentioned?
No, that's it.
Okay. And then life insurance. Do you have any life insurance?
We do. Yeah, we both have a policy.
Okay. How much coverage do you have?
We both have about 150,000 each.
Okay. And what was the original intention when you pulled it out, when you put that policy on yourself?
Mostly just to make sure that there's some income coming in on the, you know, if something happened to Hunter, then there's some income for a little while, and same for me.
Okay. So you got that for income replacement then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Very important that we do that. Very important. Because what I don't want to have happen is I don't want them to say, oh, the $150,000 policy I have, I'm going to use it for the mortgage. Oh, the $150,000, I'm going to use it for this. We want to just take their existing insurance, put it in a box, wrap it up, throw it away. All right, because they already got it for a purpose. That's what I'm trying to want. That's what I want you all to understand. They already have that insurance for a purpose. There's a reason that they already got it. Find out that reason. That's what we're doing there, okay? Total out their bills, whatever it was, call it $6,000. Let's do a quick review of what your family would have to fall back on if you died or couldn't work. So checking and savings, do you keep anything meaningful, or is it just more of a rolling average?
Rolling average, more so I'd say there's usually like 20,000 in savings.
Okay, perfect. A 401k, do you have anything meaningful there?
No.
Okay. IRA, it's an individual retirement account. Do you have one of those?
No.
All right. And then any properties elsewhere?
No, just our home.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, we're done with the hard stuff. Now I can just kind of move on to some ideas before we do, and then boom. All right, so really quick, you guys, this right here, this is meant to have you show them if you need to, and to give you the confidence that they need this. What I have happened is, as I taught this in the past, is I've watched a bunch of agents' posture change drastically after they're like, wow, I see that he makes $4,000, she makes $3,000, their bills are $6,000, that if God forbid his income didn't coming in, she's upside down $3,000 a month. And if she passed away, he's upside down $2,000 a month. And it changes your posture. It changes your confidence. It changes everything about you. Now you know that they need it. 90% of families that we sit with either don't have enough coverage in place or any at all. So I'm telling you, by doing this, it will build your confidence. It will change your perception. It will help you. And if you ever need to show them, you can, okay? All right, so again, stop. We're going to double check their health. If they just told us they have $20,000 in their savings account, they just got done telling us how much money they make. They just got done telling us why that this is important. They just got done giving up an ideal situation as to how they want their family to be protected. Do you think that they trust us a lot more at this point than when they did in the very start of the presentation? Yes or no? If you think it's a solid yes, throw a thumb up or put a Y in the chat. If you think 100% you got a lot more trust now, that means that they're going to be a lot more forthcoming with their health, I believe. Because before they didn't know you, so why would I tell them? Now they know you. Now they've went through the process with you. This is what happens is that we go through this process more often than not, and then boom, we get stuck with a decline, or we can't get it approved, or whatever. I think it's because we do the health verification way too early in the process. Okay, really quick, I didn't check with you guys, but anything that you would add on the fact finding, Dave, Paige, Bridge?
Well, yeah, the only other thing I wanted to add, I think there's a trust factor, but these are all numbers they gave us, so it's very clear to them that they need it, right? Because they're kind of selling themselves, right? We're just asking good questions, and their answers are showing them that they need it. That's why I like it, because that's why if you don't do this, you're missing another layer of emotion. And remember, if we say it, it might be true. If they say it, it's definitely true. So that's why I've always felt that this is so important, because it just puts it right out in front of them that they need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Awesome. Bridge, Paige.
Nothing to add. I think it's really good.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and again, do you promise that there's nothing else health-wise? Just because these ideas that I worked up are based off, based on what you confirmed earlier, what the underwriter does is check into a place called the MIB. This is short for Medical Information Bureau. The MIB has every medical detail on you from the time you were born to just a few days ago. So it is important that we are detailed, especially over the last 10 years, as the insurance carriers can be quite particular. Are you positive that there is nothing else? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Let's go to A now. Yeah, let's put A at the top. Assumption. All right. So decide tonight script. So Paige, based on what you just shared with me, let's look at some ideas that can help. I'm going to include at least one that is our most comprehensive, and I'm going to count on you to be honest about your budget. Sometimes people will say things like, I need to think about it, sleep on it, etc. I have been doing this long enough to know that what that means. It means that the price isn't right. So if what I'm showing you doesn't fit the budget, can I count on you to tell me?
Yep, I'll let you know.
Okay, these are just some of the ideas, and we will find you something tonight that fits comfortably inside of your budget as a good starting place. And once we do, we'll apply for that. Okay.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right. So now, really quick, we don't need to verify that. That's been there for a while. No, Jenny, you're okay. Let's go back. Sorry, I know I'm probably throwing you off here. My bad, bud. All right, so really quick, I've been kind of big on this for a little while now, and I think I finally got it into a really good form. So presenting two ideas. Here's the thing, you guys. We're going to present ideas, and then we are going to show plans. So really quick, ideas are just concepts. And ideas are concepts without the price. I want somebody to commit to me about the idea before I ever give the price. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So I would do something like this. All right, so Paige, I have two ideas here, and I want to see which idea you like better. Again, I'm not sure that they will be approved, but I want to start just to see what idea you like best. All right, you had said earlier that if God forbid something happened to you, that Hunter and Coltrane would be out of the house after 90 days, that they would have to make a decision to move to probably either go back to, I don't know what you said, where'd you say, West Virginia or Boise?
Montana.
Where was it?
Montana.
I still didn't hear it.
Montana.
Oh, Montana. Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus. All right, that's my fault, not yours. All right, so that they would have to probably go back to Montana, move with the parents. He would probably have to go back and be a chef. And so we said that we wanted to try to avoid all that, right? And so here's what this first idea is going to do. The first idea that if God forbid something happened to you, it's going to pay off the mortgage in its entirety. It's going to make sure that Hunter and Coltrane can stay in the home, that they can be surrounded by your family, that they could be surrounded by your friends, that they can continue to do a lot of the same things that they're doing. All right, here's the second idea. The second idea, what it's going to do is it'll actually cover just half the mortgage. Okay. And in covering half the mortgage, basically it's going to cut that mortgage payment from $1,800 down to about $900 a month. I don't know where you could go for kind of like even renting a place for that inexpensive, but at least it keeps the same roof over their head. At least it keeps them in the same school district. At least I know, I always do that. At least it keeps them in the same school district. At least. So really quick, which idea do you like better?
I like the idea of the full house being paid off and just not having to worry about it.
Okay, so really quick, I want to pause there for just a second. Let's put the screen down for just a quick second, Jenny. All right, do you guys see that? Like, I have not given her a price, but I got her committed to a plan. Too many times to make a big mistake. Now, Paige could have easily said, well, it just depends on how much it costs. Paige, I'm not worried about that right now. That's exactly what I would say. I would say, hey, Paige, really quick, I'm not worried about that right now. It's not a big thing. I know, I get it. The price is important, but I just want to make sure that you're following along with the concept. I want to make sure that you're following along with the idea. So Paige, does that idea make sense to your family, or am I way off here? Oh, no, you're not way off. All right, so which idea do you like better? Well, I love the idea of making sure that the mortgage is fully paid off. Do you guys see how we're doing that? Like, I'm getting them totally bought into the concept. I'm getting them totally bought into what that's going to do for their family. And price hasn't even been shared yet. You'll have this. All right, can you explain them again to me? After, so Paige, what she would have done is she would have been like, all right, hey, really quick. I don't know. It just depends on how much it costs. Paige, I don't want you to worry about price just yet. I want you to focus on which idea would be best for your family. All right, can you explain it one more time? That's going to happen to you more often than not. And repeat it the exact same way, tying their story into it. Does that make sense for everyone? Yes or no? All right, David.
Yeah. So good, guys. So good. I hope you don't, he just said something that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. Yeah, so I hope you didn't miss it. When, you know, John was role playing, imagine what Paige might say, it would happen all the time. Which one of those ideas, I use that term all the time. I love it, buddy. Which one of those ideas do you like better or makes more sense? Well, it depends. It depends on the cost. Right there is where a lot of people go down the wrong path because they're, well, hold on. Let me show you the cost. And then you just jumped right into the ditch. Remember what John did very skillfully there. Remember, you got to get a commitment on interest before you show money. And what he did there was very easy. I understand. I don't want you to worry about it. So he took control, didn't he? Guys, that's really important because you don't want them to push you into talking about money till you know they're on board. It's just that simple. So that's all I wanted to do. So just do what John did. Deflect it, respect that it's important. But before we do that, I want to know what idea appeals to you most.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to add.
Good. All right, James, where are you at, bud? Can you unmute and ask that just for clarity?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everyone. That's great. but you know, what if it's a clear-cut critical time case? And they answer with full mortgage payoff or bust.
Okay, so very good. We're not going to do that. All right, so 9 times out of 10, we know that we're heading into critical period before we go there, right?
Right.
So don't talk about full mortgage payoff. Like, just leave it alone. And stay away from it. Stay away from, and then now you're going to start talking about in terms of, oh yeah, partial payoff. So let's go back to the script. That's a good question. Let's go back to the script really quick. Okay. So, I'm not going to talk about full payoff. I'm going to say, all right, so really quick, you got partial payoff and kind of critical period. The partial payoff, this idea of pay off some of the mortgage, so the monthly payment can be kind of cut down. And this is just making it more affordable for one person. Critical period, this is kind of the idea about buying the family time to make the best decisions and protect the equity that they've worked so hard to build. That's why in the very beginning, as you see that, and we had the equity, James, is we say, hey, at the bare bones minimum, we want to make sure that we're at least covering this, right? And so we're kind of tying it back to that. So I don't know why we put this general life insurance in here, but that's okay. This is going to have, do you see where it says right here in blue, critical period coverage resource? This is going to bring us right to the critical period and equity protection offering. And there's also going to be a video for people to watch on how to properly present the critical period. What does that say? Just present the options we know they will likely qualify for. Exactly, Siobhan. That is 100% accurate. So I'm not even really going to talk about full, like if I can get full payoff, I'm going to talk about full and partial payoff. If I can only get critical period, I'm going to talk about partial payoff and critical period. Not talk about full. Does that make sense to everyone? And for people that get full payoff, you never really talk about critical period. So you're always going to kind of talk about 2 out of the 3. Does that make sense for everyone? You're never going to talk about all 3. You're only going to talk about 2 out of the 3. And that's pretty much in every scenario and every situation. Okay. So again, we're going back to which idea do you like best here at the bottom? Did I confuse people on that, or are we okay? You think we're okay, Paige, or not necessarily?
I think we're okay. The only other question was from Ibel, and it was the same question. So yeah, I think it makes sense. You're not confusing people with 3 different concepts. You're keeping it very small to what they're even gonna get.
Very good. And here's what I will say too. Okay, that's exactly right, Paige. And here's what I'll also say. Listen, we're only ever showing 2 options. You guys, if you ever show any more than 2 options, you're confusing people, and confused minds don't buy. Do not ever show more than 2. You can have three ideas, right? So remember, you got ideas and options. Ideas are concepts, options are cost. We're getting ideas first, and then we're presenting options. We're only ever going to present 2 ideas, and we're definitely only ever going to present 2 options. The reason why we're presenting 2 ideas, we want to make sure that they understand the way that we understand this. We want to make sure that they heard out loud what's going to happen to their family one last time before we present the options. Okay? So it's only 2 forever. Do not show 3. So if I did this, let me give you an example. Bridge, can I pick on you since you're unmuted?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Bridget, really quick, I have 3 options here. All right, so option number 1, that if God forbid something happens to you, just like we talked about, your family's gonna have to do this, that, and the other. That option right there is that's $300,000 in coverage. It is gonna cover the full mortgage amount, like we discussed, and that option is gonna be roughly $198.64 a month. Okay, but now we do have this other option. What it will do is it'll actually take care of 2/3 of the mortgage. And with taking 2/3 of the mortgage, you said that your mortgage payment right now is $2,168. So 2/3 of the mortgage, what that'll do is that'll kind of cut it down to about $1,280 a month. for your mortgage payment. I'm not, I don't know exactly the number, but that's what I'm thinking roughly. That's $200,000 in coverage. And that option is going to be roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of about $132 a month. And then I'm going to give you the final option. That's going to be the third and final option. It's going to be $100,000 in coverage, and that'll actually take care of a third of the mortgage. So it'll cut your mortgage payment down. And so that $100,000 in coverage is going to be about $69 a month and 38 cents. Could you repeat back to me what those three options were?
Well, if you're a client, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
I said, could you repeat the three options and what the price were for each three of those?
The price is no, the concept, yes.
Okay. My point is that you see how easily confused I was with those three options? Keep it to two options and two options only. This or this, this or this. So Bridget, I got full mortgage at 300,000. That's 198 bucks a month. Or I have this, half the mortgage, 150,000. It's going to cut your mortgage payment down. And that option's $101 a month. Do you like this or this? Which idea do you like better? Make sense?
Yeah. And you can even, what I'll do too, John, I'll just say, hey, can you grab a piece of paper and a pen? And I just very globally have them put down the numbers. And then I'll explain the options, and then I repeat them. And, of these two, which one makes the most sense to apply for today?
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
And let me add something, John. I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Simple, simple, simple. But Bridge just said something that I was thinking about. And I know I'm getting a little off track here, but every once in a while, guys, you'll do two options and they can't do either one, right? Those of us have been around. So now we have to pivot and do a couple more options. All I wanted to remind everybody is, let's say Bridge said, I can't do the 150. Well, then we need to have our SFG quotes out and then offer 75 and 50. But what I wanted to mention is, when you have to circle back to the quotes, make sure you ask the same thing. So of those options, which one makes the most sense to apply for? In other words, you don't just go, oh, can't do 100. How about 75? You never do that. You go 75 and 50. And then I don't know how much money that question has made me, John. I was thinking about it over the years. That very simple question of these options, which one makes the most sense to apply for? Sometimes you got to ask that 2 or 3 times within a presentation. So that's all.
Okay, cool. Nick, go ahead. You can add really quick. Reality hacker. All right, never mind. You just sent me a text. All right. Sorry. So then.
Oh, my bad. I'm here. So I was just wanting to back you up on the two options and getting a commitment before you show prices eliminates extra variables. If you go right into sharing the options without getting a commitment first and they say no, think about it. Now you have to backtrack and go, is it not the right concept? Is it not the right coverage? Is it not the right price? Did I do the emotion right? It adds so many things, but if you can get them to commit before you show anything, the sale's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. And if you can get into a habit of doing that, you guys, they're just going to pick option 1 or option 2 every single time. Or if they object, you now know you have to wiggle the price a little bit because they already bought into the concept. They're already bought in.
Exactly. So do keep all of that in mind, okay? So remember, you're presenting ideas first. Ideas are concepts. And then you're presenting options, and options come with the price. All right. I really want you guys to understand that. And you just say, all right. So after you say the first idea and then the second idea, and then you're going to say which of those, which do you like the best? They will say whatever. And I promise you, I love this statement right here. I can't make any promises that I can get you the coverage. I can only promise that I will try my best. Is that fair? I'm telling you, the psychological aspect of that, you're asking an important question, but they're going to come to you with this kind of humbleness. They're like, oh my God, no, I totally understand. That's a yes. Go ahead and start the application. Oh no, yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Boom. Yes, that is 100% a John statement. All right, I can't make any promises that I can get you the coverage. I can only promise that I will try my best. Is that fair?
That's
Okay.
actually a good question, even though it came from John.
The
It's-
psychological aspect of it is so cool. And then literally, you guys, so many people like look for this crazy overwhelming, like, can I start the application? Which application do you want? You don't need to do any of that.
Yep.
I promise you, this funnels them right into it. And then just you start the application. What is the correct spelling of your last name? They'll tell you. You're filling out the application. And I have your first name spelled Paige. Is this also the correct address that I have on file? 212, blah, 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 and just start the application. Okay? Plain, simple. After the application's done, this is in there. I don't love it. I just rewrote something that Nick kind of brought to me, to us. It's like his emergency response service. So I got to get this updated, Jenny, before it does go out to everyone. And what we're going to do at the end is we're just going to start asking for referrals, okay? So really quick, where's it at? I just sent it to Angela this morning. Angela, boom. All right. So at the end is, hey, before I let you go, I want you to take this last segment very serious. There's billions of dollars for life insurance benefits that go unclaimed each year. This happens when beneficiaries don't receive the death benefit after the insured person dies, possibly because they don't know about the policy or who issued it. So here's what I want for you. 4 to 5 additional names of people you love and have trusted over the past several years. I'm going to call them and let them know that they're on my file for your policy, and I want to make sure that they have my information saved. These are people who will help you make sure that your family gets the money. So go ahead with those 4 or 5 people. Also, please shoot them a message and let them know that I'll be contacting them, so I'm not just some random reaching out. Okay? And you guys, we will be getting 4 to 5 names every single. I know that Nick has been doing this. I think he said, I don't know who it was on the team, but I think that he's got a couple of people on the team that are loving kind of the referrals and what's going on with them. We have to do a better job. We have to do a better job at getting referrals. It's going to make your life so much easier. One application, one lead can turn into 500. How much easier would this business be if you didn't have a lead cost? Way easier, right? Let's start hammering it on referrals. Nick did give me his kind of emergency response, emergency referral service, or whatever the hell it's called. He gave me the script. We're working on that as well. Myself, Delaney, Miranda, Jamie, on how to best transition into grabbing those referrals and what that phone call is going to look like after. For now, just start grabbing a bunch of referrals until we have an exact system that we can roll out to you on how to help best protect those referrals. Okay, so that will be in the script. Hopefully Angela can get that to me today, and before Jenny releases this to everyone, I'll have I want that last bit in there added to the bottom of the script, so we can get you guys just doing that. Everyone needs to go start grabbing referrals. Okay, outside of that, we are way past. Jenny, yep. Okay, cool. All right. Other than that, I'm so sorry for running long. I hope it was worth it. I hope this is helpful. This is the new script that we're going to be rolling. They're going to be rolling this out at conference. We just get it a little earlier. So grateful for that. But outside of that, I hope you guys go kick some butt today. Okay. Let's have an amazing day. What? Yeah, no, Nick, let's just cut it down. Sorry, buddy. All right. Outside of that, bye, y'all. Thanks,
Good job, pal.
Thanks, buddy.